Yes, sir. We are back. It's your guy LenDale White. I'm back here with my, business manager, my guy, my friend. Also the guy that I beat up on a lot on this show. You know, Hated to Love is sponsored by our guys over at Steady Picks. What's up, Alex? What's going on?
And you had an undefeated season. Can't hate.
It's so crazy because people thought that like Nick was like doing like something special for me or trying to help me. I'm like, no, like ties are considered not a loss. So I'm consider. I think it's admirable what I did this year, considering, I had some pretty formidable opponents, considering like Lofa Tatupu, Bo Scaife, Keith Bullock. You know what I'm saying? Like guys that really know football. They came on here, but they ultimately fell to the goat. This is this is like a unique episode, man. We got a big game coming up. The college football playoff national championship game. We have Georgia versus the TCU Horned Frogs. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. But before we get into that game and what we think about that game, I think you had some stuff you wanted to ask me, or
Yeah.
I think
No, this is pretty cool because you played in a national championship, and this
no, no,
is
hold on. Sorry, Alex. I don't mean to cut you off so quick. I played in three straight national championship games. I don't know if people are aware of that yet, because I was kind of the Bama before Bama and all that. I only lost two games in my collegiate career.
that's crazy.
I forget the record because I don't remember, but I know we won like 35 straight or something like that, and I think we're like 34-2 or something like that, 35-2 or something. So yeah, and I lost my third game in college, and then I lost the last game to the Texas Longhorn. Vince's knee was still down. I'm still gonna always preach that somehow, some way we got cheated. But hey, it's neither here nor there. But let's
Uh,
get into it, Alex. Sorry to cut you off, but I had to let the world know. Three, three straight, baby. Yeah.
I mean, so to that point, I mean, you've played in three national championships. How does leading up to a national championship, preparing for that, how is that different than leading up to a regular season game?
There's like about two, maybe three answers to that. The first answer would be for like a new team going into a national championship game, it's definitely going to be different because of you're flying into a different city for a week. They're in LA right now. They don't, they fly in LA, kids from TCU, some from Georgia, like they haven't really had the whole, Hollywood experience. So now they're in LA, they're getting to see some celebrities. There's probably all kind of different, just there's things around there to catch their attention that probably can get them out of the game time experience for the moment. So I would say for the most part, that experience alone is a major difference because you're gone for a week, you're in a hotel, um, you're preparing for a game, but at the same time you got family around, you got all your fans around, you go outside at night. It's like a big party. It's a big party, like a big extravaganza, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the first part. But like the second part is like a team that has been there before, like a Georgia or myself, when we like repeat it, this is like business as usual. We know that we're coming here to win a football game. Like the ultimate goal is to walk away from here as a national champion, right? So when you look at the fans or your teammates or your all the homeboys, your girlfriends and everybody that's coming out to try to see you, you're like, listen, I'm not really here for doing all that. We can do that, Sunday night or Monday night after the game. When we hold up that trophy and we become national champions, then we'll hang out and party. So that's like the been there done that kind of attitude, because we've already experienced this. So last year we got the jitters out, we got to hang out with our friends, do all the just crazy stuff that comes along with the bowl games. But now we know that what's at stake, and this is to go out there, dominate as the Georgia Bulldogs they say they should, and try to come out away from there with a victory. So that's what I really get from there. That's like the major differences that from a week to week game as to a bowl game, because again you're away from home for an extensive period of time, and you're in a hotel and all your fans are around constantly. You see nothing but your fans usually around you.
I gotta ask, Glendale, what was on your pregame playlist before these games? What were you listening
Oh,
to?
well, back then you gotta think this is like 2003, 4, and 5. So this is Lil
Go
Wayne.
back.
Lil Wayne for sure. We had Lil Wayne. I introduced like LA, not LA, 'cause I'm not gonna say the LA, but like the team, my team USC back then, it was like the hyphy movement. This is Keek the Sneak, and they was doing that. So when I came in, I had brought like the T.I. and the Lil Wayne, and I'll never forget it. We used to play that stuff, and then my one of my homeboys, John Walker, he just told me this. He was like, "Bro, do you remember like when Lil Wayne dropped? We used to make us listen to this nonstop, and then finally it caught on, and everybody's in there rapping the car. And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that was the Tunchi, man. I can't lie. Lil Wayne was probably the guy back then, and I mean also my guy Snoop. I was like, he was one of my guys, and he would I would get like the CD before anybody. He would tell me to pull up. I'll get the actual CD that's about to drop in 2 months, but I've been playing it for the whole 2 months, and I got the team listening to it or whatnot. So yeah, I was a Snoop Dogg connoisseur. And then the last championship, I have to be honest, man, Gucci Man and Jeezy. Those two, like they were that was like the year Jeezy had just, came out, and he was with the ad libs, the chill and the ha, and I'm trying to stack my bacon up. I need extra cheese. Man, I'll never forget that, man. Yes, yes, that's what I was on, man. Those were some good old
Some new
times.
Gucci. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Gucci.
that was Gucci before. Like these kids that know this Gucci, they'll probably be like, no, this is back when Gucci was it was like ABC rap kind of, but that was his style of rap, and we loved it. You know what I mean? I loved it, man. Yeah, so shout out. It was Wayne, um, T.I., Snoop for sure, Gucci and Jeezy. And then obviously I always listen to Jigga Man. Jay-Z was just for me, just a different dude. Like, yeah.
What are some of your favorite memories of these national championships? Specific plays that you specifically remember the thought before these plays. I know you said Vince's knee was down. Maybe
Yeah.
that's one of them.
That's definitely one of the
What
memories. One of my first memories of my national championship game was we played Michigan in the Rose Bowl. And I remember people were like that people might say that's not a national championship game, but remember we had BCS and AP, and the AP polls voted, us to be the number one team, and that's why we ended up splitting the national championship that year. For people that don't know, we split it with LSU. But so we're playing against, Braylon Edwards was one of my guys too. I almost went to Michigan, but we playing against him, and I just remember I had caught a swing pass and I scored in the end zone, and I remember getting super hyped because I'm like, man, I'm playing in a big bowl game, and I'm actually scoring and making a difference as a freshman, right? And then I remember in that same game we did the people call it the Philly special now, but we did it. We did that in '03, where I think Herschel Dennis had pitched the ball back to Mike Williams, and Mike came around the sideline and threw a strike to Matt Leinart, and he went in the end zone and scored.
Matt
Um,
Leinart caught a touchdown pass.
yeah, Matt Leinart caught a touchdown pass. Yeah, we
Oh
there.
wow, I didn't see that.
That was like way back. Norm Chow was a crazy mind though. We talking about Norm Chow. Kerry Colbert, the Kerry Colbert. I call him Kansas City, man. Kansas. He actually coaches for the Gators right now, Florida Gators. Had a monster game. Had a monster game. I think Leon Hall was actually covering him, and it was crazy. I think that's listen, Kerry went off that game. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think
Wow.
it was 3 maybe. But and then the next year we play again in another national championship game. We go down to the Orange Bowl. See, that was a bit different for us, but we had already been to a bowl game, but we were at the Rose Bowl. So when you're at home, it's it's kind of like it's not really a big difference because we're in LA already. So then you go to Orange Bowl, and I remember the next year because Will Poole, he was a cornerback on our team the year before. He had graduated, but he has playing for the Dolphins. So he had came and got us and took us out to if I'm not, I think it was Cheetahs and Tootsies, or I think it was a couple of them clubs. So we're all in the strip club hanging out. And we look up and it's like, man, we have like maybe 38 minutes before curfew. So we were getting out of there. We had to fly back to the hotel and just get back to the hotel so nobody got in trouble. That definitely was one of those memories. And then I remember that same game the night before, me, myself, Dominique Bird, and Steve Smith. We were all in a room together, hanging out. probably ain't no telling what we was doing. Probably something we shouldn't have been doing. But hey, we were in there hanging out, and then I remember like we always used to talk big crap, and I used to be like, man, I'm gonna get MVP of this game, right? And then D Bird's like, man, what you talking about, bro? If they throw me the ball this many times, I'm for sure gonna get the MVP of this game, right? And then Steve Smith's like, hey, y'all crazy, man. I'm gonna get the MVP. And it's so crazy because we went out there in that game, and Steve Smith had 3 touchdowns. I had 2 touchdowns, and D Bird had a one hand grab to start off the touchdowns in that game, and we went on to beat, Oklahoma 55, I think, to 19. That's a team stacked with like Heisman Trophy winner Jason White, Adrian Peterson was on that team, another kid, Sean Cody, was on that team. D-line, they were stacked, man. They had I think like 15 players on that team had got drafted, but we dominated and kicked their butts. Um, and then on to the Texas game, which is that game sticks with you forever. Obviously, we lost that game, but just the fact that you had played in that game, and that game, it's almost 20 years later, and you still hear people saying that that was probably the greatest football game that they have ever watched. You know what I'm saying? So, just being a part of that game, and knowing my brother Vince Young, and knowing where he came from, and knowing his story, and just seeing how he put the team on his back, and knowing that side, like, you got to take your hat off to somebody like that. And I always will, because he's my brother now for sure, but his knee was down for sure. And I think that game had a few different outcomes with a few different plays go a different way. So you can't cry over spilled milk, and you can always say what if, but one thing we do know is that Texas did get that victory. But again, that was my third straight. So I mean, I'm 2 for 3. And I'm okay with that. I definitely wanted that third one, but it's okay. I do remember after that game though, we went to the studio with Snoop Dogg and Charlie Wilson, and Pharrell was there. And that's the song that night they made, That Girl. There's something about this girl that from around, and I'll never forget it because we walked in the studio, and me and Snoop looked at each other, and he was like, damn, cuz. And we both were just sad as hell, man. I'll never forget it, dog. But yeah, those are like some of my most memorable stories from the national championship games, man. Those will stick with me forever. I'll never forget that stuff.
That's awesome, man. Well, we have Georgia going into their second national championship game. They're just won last year, back to back. They won last year. Are they going to win it this year?
Um, okay, I got two sides to this story.
What's the over under?
Okay, we can go. Let's go into it real quick. We got Georgia. Yeah, we got Georgia, obviously. TCU. They have Georgia at minus 12 and a half. Hated to love it.
Oh, wow.
Somebody see that's the thing about Vegas. They want somebody, either you're a Georgia fan and you feel like it's a diehard, we're going to handle this, we're going to handle business, or it's like they want you to be reaching because they feel like TCU is going to stick around. And look, okay, back to what I was going to say. I got two little stories for this. For me, I'm gonna say I absolutely love this because I think Georgia, if they play the way they should play, considering that scare last week, I feel that they will come out dominating. And that's because of Stinson Bennett. Yes, we know he's 25 plus. Yes, we know he's older than everybody. I don't care. That's exactly the reason why he would dominate, because he was on the sideline, looked a little bit nervous, but then also at the same time, he was still kind of relaxed. And then he went down, won the ball game. And yes, they shanked the field goal, but that's life. And that's that's the way football works. So, um, I think that Georgia absolutely dominates this game. But then there's the second side, because I'm a Cinderella guy, man, and I love Cinderella stories. I think that Max Duggan goes out there and has his Tim Tebow-esque kind of performance, and he just silence all the haters, because it's not like he's the world's greatest thrower, not the world's greatest runner, but for some reason, this kid has found a way to stick in all these games, and at the end, he always has a chance to win. Now, again, I love Cinderella stories, but in actuality, I think that Georgia probably should cover and cover easy. The reason why, the tight end Stinson Bennett and that Georgia defense, that scare last week is going to have them coming out because they had been there before. They know what's at stake, is what I think. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be at least a two touchdown game. You think Georgia is at least 2 touchdowns better than TCU?
I believe that easily. Like the best Georgia team, like when Georgia's playing the way Georgia can play, yes, easily. We seen what they did to Ohio State. Sorry, not Ohio State. We seen what they did to Tennessee. Forgive me, I'm getting all these teams mixed up. We seen what they did to Tennessee, right? When they want to play football, they know how to play football, and it's won in the trenches. That's where it's learned. Like they don't give up a lot of points. This Ohio State, you don't
But
really.
TCU puts up a lot of points. I mean,
But
their
that's
quarterback
against again Big 12 defenses that are known for giving up big amounts of
but
points.
man, 3,500 yards by a quarterback. That's
I'm
a lot.
just saying, no. Again, I'm giving Max his flowers. He's one of them kids you can't count him out. But I just don't think he's harder to guard or to watch than a dude like Jalen Daniels from LSU. You see what I'm saying? I feel like, and that's what Georgia and those boys go up against on a regular basis. So they're already built for that, and the speed is there. I don't think they lack, the playmakers in the middle to stop Max. But what I'm
Right.
saying though, Max is one of those players you can't count out. That's why I'm saying I love Cinderella stories, but that's why I had two sides. If we're talking just straight football and like, listen, if the way Georgia's been known to play football and what they did you got to think. Well, they also do say when Georgia's defense is a lot better when a star wide receiver isn't in the game. They say that. So let me put that out there. James Williams went out last year in the national championship. It got a little easier. Um, uh, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Marvin Eugene Harrison Jr. went out. All of a sudden, their defense gets a little better. So, hey, but I just don't think there's playmakers like that with TCU. Max is a playmaker. The receiver on the edge, the guy that took one, I think 80 yards. I can't think of his name right now. He's a playmaker, but I just think Georgia's going to be too fast. Now your turn. Sorry,
Do
I've
you
been.
think do you think he'll turn the ball over? Do you have him at? Do you think he'll throw an interception?
I think Max will turn the ball over because he's going to have to end up throwing the ball to catch up with Georgia somehow, some way. Yes,
Okay.
there's a turnover. There will be a turnover.
I
Georgia's
think.
Now,
Look, I
like
think.
again, I told you I love Cinderella stories, but I'm just saying,
I
like,
know.
from a like just I'm talking like again, see, that's two different because I've been on both sides of this. Like people don't give you a shot and you go out there and you find a way. You know what I mean? I went down to Auburn one year with USC. Yesterday, we were both ranked in the top 10. But when you go to SEC ranked top, a 6 team and they go against SEC, they're like, oh no, those boys in the SEC are just too big. And then we come out and end up winning that game, I think by like 10 points. And it's like, oh yeah, SC is real. So I mean, it's a chance that it can go either way, but I'm just taking Georgia in that scare last week for them to be bounced back and be like, nah, we are Georgia Bulldogs and let's show the world why.
Yeah, TCU. I'm not going to say they got lucky, but they need to be very grateful uh, to be in the national championship.
Yes, I've
They
never
were trying to lose that game,
Michigan, Michigan by far. I mean, no, TCU won the game. You got to give the hats off to where, but
but
Michigan did everything in their power and had the worst game that they possibly could play in that position at the time, all season. So yes, TCU definitely got a bone handed to him. That's why I can't wait to see what happens with Georgia. And if
okay,
TCU ends
yeah.
up right, if TCU ends up dominating this, then no, TCU is one of them teams that we have been sleeping on, and we need to show them respect. And I'm the first guy that would say, I am sorry. We need to put respect on their name. But I just think that Georgia's going to come out, hit them with a couple boom, boom, booms, and it'll be over before they know it's on.
I think so. I'm with you there. I think Georgia's going to win the game. I don't think they're going to cover though.
That's good stuff. I know
I
you
don't.
have
I
your
don't.
you have your luck on this show. Be like trying to predict the actual. So let's say what do you think they win by then?
I think it's going to be a 10-point game.
See now, listen. If you win this, I think you got some kind of in cahoots with the Vegas. Then I know you work with Vegas odds. If this does a 10, and I know you working with
I think
Vegas.
it's going to be a two-score game, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's going to be two
12.
touchdown. Um,
Right, because it's going to have to be a touchdown and a field goal. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I'm
and that's
saying?
what I think will happen. I think.
Two
I think.
touchdowns, two field goals.
Yeah, yeah. I think Georgia will win by 10. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But Yeah, if TCU, if they turn the ball over,
Oh yes, lights
you
out.
just gave Georgia a touchdown.
Uh,
Now, Georgia can get away with turning the ball over maybe once, if the ball's on the ground or anything like that,
Yeah, they
because
have a
their
defense.
defenses,
Yeah.
they have an NFL defense.
Okay, well then what you saying that the over or under is at 62.5 points, hate it or love it.
62 and a half.
I'm gonna love it because if Georgia, if you what you're saying, if Georgia's gonna get off to a good start right, and they're like at around 40 something, then that means TCU has to be right at 30. You know what I mean? So that's 70 points, and
But
that's a 10.
sometimes the first quarter just breezes through, especially for a new team like TCU. They're kind of getting used to the crowd noise and things like
Oh, I
that. Like,
know. That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be. Oh, I think it's going over. And the reason why I say this is because like Georgia probably does get up early, and like TC, those will be like some last heroic late minute touchdown type things. Like you know what I mean, like where the defense they know they already have the game sealed. So of course, like TCU can come down and score a couple easy touchdowns type stuff. That's where I'm thinking the game goes. Again, though, I would love to see the Cinderella story. I would love to see TCU do the upset. I can't lie. I would just love to see it, man. That just makes college football that much more exciting because now it's not just about the big dogs having a chance. It's not about NIL money. It's about like, no, if you go to one of these teams and you wait your turn and you buy in with your coach and you understand and you buy in and understand what he's trying to get you out of you, then anything is possible. We see this with first year coach. Last year they were nowhere near this. Nobody would have thought they were going to be in a national championship game. Nobody would have thought Cincinnati would have did it. Go to the CFP. That is giving these other small school hopes, and it's not all about NIL money. Clearly, it's about no. If you buy in with your coach and you believe that you can win, then the job will get done. And hey,
so if you're TCU's coach, what are you telling these guys that haven't been there before?
let's
They're playing the number
listen.
one.
The best part about us being TCU, nobody in the world is giving us a shot to win this game. Like nobody's saying we're going to win, guys. Like that's the best part about this. We are the underdogs. Like we're not supposed to win. So what can you guys really do to make this game a real game? What can we do? Let's go out there and drop our kahuna, so to speak, and let's go play some ball. Nobody expects us to be in this game or around this game or even a parking lot for this game. So what happens if we go out there and dominate? Then we show the world that we are absolutely the truth. I just got a email a couple minutes ago that says the dude, the guy, the running back Trey Sanders from Alabama. Guess where he just committed? TCU. He was a former five-star guy. That's what I'm. So the like now that this has started, it's like a snowball, man. It gets rolling downhill. I said this with my Trojans. People didn't believe me. I said we'll have a 10+ win season this year. People were like, I don't know. We only won. No, when you believe and you start getting them behind that process of your coaching, and yes, I believe this, man. Anything is really possible, man. I promise you that. So, uh, as a
So
TCU
if you're
head coach,
Georgia's coach, what are you saying then? If you're just like, hey, we've been here before.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
here before. Listen, if we play our game of football, we have taken a lot of everybody's greatest shots over the last couple years. So we know what we're going in here and expecting. If we go out here and play Georgia football, we're not playing anybody else's style. We go out here and play what we have been playing for the last 2 years, we'll walk away with this game easily. Of course, it'll be a dogfight in the first quarter, second quarter, because yes, we're going to get there. This is a national championship game. Somebody's going to give you the best shot. But if we play Georgia ball the way we're capable, we'll walk away with this game. It'll be 49-21, and we'll have an easy victory.
Oh, wow. So you're going to take the over, and you're
Uh,
going to take Georgia covering.
yes.
I have Georgia winning, but not covering. And I'm also going to take the over. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I'm sticking with that
Yeah. I'm
sweet
still
number
I'm
10.
still for the Cinderella story though. I'm still for it.
Yeah,
I
I
would
know. But
not
when you
be
were talking about TCU, I thought about it. I can't lie. I really did think about switching my pick.
I wouldn't be
Because
mad. Don't be surprised though if they come out swinging. That's the thing. If they get up early and Georgia has to fight from behind, that changes the game dramatically because Georgia's not used to playing from behind. They're
oh
used to,
yeah.
you seen it last week. It was desperation came on that face. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see if Max has any more, Tebow or Vince Young magic left in that tank. I can't wait to see. It's the giant. It's good stuff, man. I cannot wait to see. This is going to be one of the most fun, college football games there is. And
Yeah,
it,
it's
again, it gives
yeah,
the little team hope. It gives that little school hope to know, like, yes, we can get in here, we can compete with the best. They just beat Michigan, a team that they knew everybody just knew was supposed to dog walk them and get to the national champion. So if you believe, then you will achieve, so to speak, man. Hey,
yeah.
Alex, I truly appreciate you stepping by another one of our shows of Hate It or Love It, sponsored by our guys over at Steady Picks, man. There's only one pick this week. We'll be back again soon because we have NFL and the rest. Yeah, we have the rest of the NFL season coming up to get down to. So we'll have those picks coming up next week. But thank you for stopping by again, man. I truly appreciate
Yeah,
it. All right, we'll talk to you soon, man.